Okay, out of the shower. It's not a tallis, it's my blanket. It's got all those stripes and lines on it. Look at that. Like Moses and his cowl, I got it out of the hospital when I caught bipolar and always thought everything was times 1,000. That's why they don't accept that bill anymore, because times 1,000 gets you back somewhere where you can go 1,000 times faster than anything you ran before, which would be a lot. It would be more than less. The reason for the Canadians, and I went over this already once, is because Montreal is special. They have a cross in the middle of the M-O-N, which is my. The T is the reality of the crossroads, the both sides of the story. And on one side of the story it says it's real, R-E-A-L. So therefore in Montreal that's real, and because it's so pure, they have the haves. Because everybody wants to have. They don't want to have not. That's why they call them the Montreal Can Aid E of God. Ends. Doesn't mean it ends. It means he's part of it. He is part of a bookend. The Montreal Canadiens, the Habs. That's why they're the best. They have the Stanley of all cups. Because the Lee is what you sleep in to rest. So with the Lee, and you can rest, you can play as hard as you want and stay up all night. But when it comes time to go to bed, and the mind is weary and tired, you better go to bed. Because then, if you do not go to bed, the head will look like a Z. Because it's tired and it cannot see. So it'll be zigged and zagged. It'll be ziggedy and zaggedy for the mind. So now we go on to what everything else is about is today. And it's the 22nd of the 9th month. So therefore it might be a tie game, but the score should be 3-1 tonight against the Bruins, because they're the ruins. Because the B at the beginning is what creates everything to start over. And after you take away the B, you have the ruins, R-U-I-N-S, the Boston Bruins. The Boston Tea Party for the Tia Maria, Jesus' mother, Tia, aunt, for the ants of the world. Therefore, that is what it is. Now, what I will expel to you is the reason for the cigarette. You see one part of the cigarette, it will be like this. You see the colored part? That's the part we put in our mouth. Okay, so you got to understand the point of the matter that goes in your mouth. Now, if you don't put the cap on, you're going to get the color, and that's not the color of your mouth. So we put the cap on for protection, like the condom. Therefore, we put the cigarette in our mouth, and we smoke. And as you notice, that there is the I on the top, although it's longer, and that's the bottom of the leg. That's the capital of the I. And if you turn it sideways, it's a T, I-T, it, E-T, extraterrestrial. You see, the extraterrestrial that's coming back is what's putting together right now. You see, the angel of A and the E of man of the E world is the A and E of everything. They will be the extraterrestrial, because man and angel will go back as one in front of the provider, who is the I. So it's the I-E-T. I don't know what that means, but now we want to go back to the cigarette. You see, the cigarette is just like a cigar. You do have the end, it burns out into ashes. Ashes go into the tray when you burn up, and it's ashes, it goes down to the bottom. Therefore, we bury it. And the best way to bury it so nobody pushes it up, because the ground comes up after the freeze, which is 4 feet. So you put you down an extra 2, make it 6. 4 and 2 is 6. Therefore, you got the 4 balls to get to the first place, and the other 2 balls went away because they were in your pants, and when you died, they went away too because they had no value with death, and you can't bring them with you. The reason for the cigarette is a reminder. So therefore, when you do have the cigar, which is yes, gar is a place where the train is, or a guy, or a gare if you say it differently. So it would be a gare. So there's no yes to anything to man, because it's a gare. And we don't know yet what to do, because the yet is the best part of the gare, or the cigarette, is the ete, and the end, which is the summer, which brings all the heat in the sun, and the cigarette burns up. Therefore, when you burn the cigarette up, this is the way it works. You see the support system of the two, and you take the support system of the male and the female, and you burn the cigarette. And that's what happens. You end up only with the top part, which is the top of the eye, but there's no one at the bottom, so you're not home. So you're nowhere, so you're dead. Because of the cigarette, you learned how to die. So you taught yourself how to die. Can you teach yourself how to live? And at the end of this video, oh, it's still only 4 minutes? This video right now, as you see it, will change the thoughts of man, of any man that is a gentleman. Of the 4 sections, of the 4 decisions that all the parents want us to be, they want us to be the doctor, or the liar, the lawyer, or the something else. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, if I knew it, I'd tell you. The physician. That's why Dr. Phil is out there, because he's the physician. And he feels, and he understands, and he tries to help. It's not that he knows and he thinks he knows, because he does know. Just accept it. Now I want to show you something else. You see, what I did in this next picture, because everybody has to know about the sea, and because we know the sea splits, so you split the sea, and the sea has to have a reflection. So we put a reflection in the sea, and we have to split it and divide it all up, because Moses was here, and that's what he told us to do. Although maybe his sea didn't divide that we saw on TV that looked real, that the holy of all places did was Hollywood. It's made up of what they thought was the truth. We need someone to come here and tell us the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So therefore, the seas, once you keep turning them around, and the waves go over and back into themselves, they look like this. And that's your heart. You see that cross in the center, the plus sign? Well, that's the part that takes the blood, where the stamping station is, because that has the 4 directives of life. So that's when the blood goes into the heart. It must pass there on the way out in any one of the 4. Thus, therefore, all your heart is pure. Now, the thing is, it looks like beehives, every single one. And one looks upside down, because 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. There are reflections. Some blood comes in and some blood goes out. And it goes round and round. And this is the exact same way. And I can't use the word exact because I wouldn't know. But when I change the oil in the filter in my car, this is what it is. I have to go under the car and get all dirty. Instead of just eating the great food and clean the dishes to feed myself, I must go under the car to get the money that helps me live to get the food. But in this life, once we get the food, if we can make the heart work, we've got the 4 sides of the heart. And 4 by 4 is 16. Or if we have all the 3s, if we look at it at God's point of view, we have 12. If we look at it at man's point of view, we have 16. So is it 12 or 16? How do we add it up? As we know, the cross in between counts for 4 again. So the 12 and the 4 with the cross is 16. So something about the heart has to equal to 16. And if I knew about the heart and anything at all, if you ask me the question, I can break it down and give you a replica. Because the replica of everything, and thank God we had the replica, because without the replica, we couldn't replicate the heart. Because replicating something is an easy way to make it go in and go out if you turn it upside down on itself. The replica, the replicilian, the reptiles of the land is because of man and his heart. That everything reads something. Everything has a reason. So the blood goes in for one reason and then comes out for another reason. It goes in at one speed for one reason and comes out at another speed for another reason. All the so it's using that one heart that's in that one man's body, and he calls himself I because it's me, and together we are us. And us is something to discuss, because alone you can only listen and talk to yourself. So if you lie, you're not telling yourself the truth. And you end up at the bottom of the barrel again. So if you're in a jam or a pickle and you're at the bottom of the barrel, as sweet as it is, it'll be sour. Because the jam and the pickle are the opposites of each other, although the ingredients try to make it pure. Pure. Manure is not pure, the milk, but the purity, the IT or the ET and the OT and the AIUO and Y. Because the Y is the crossroads that somebody must go to before he travels, and the scissors, everyone comes home in the scissors. We always like the scissors. It cuts things up. We got a place for our fingers. They don't fall out. You go up the ladder, you go around, you come back. You haven't really gone anywhere, but it was easy that you didn't have to turn around the car, because every time you turn around the car in a circle, the tires use up. Eventually, the tires are no good. So the tires are the shoes under your feet. You walk, you buy new shoes. Thus, you walk with no shoes, you put on socks. And if you have no socks, you have holes in your socks, you got holy socks. That means you use them up to the end for the best that you can. You've used up everything. And even if the colors are mismatched, the way I wear my socks, it doesn't matter. As long as you got to where you had to go and you didn't ruin the principal foot. Because if you cut off a foot, it don't grow back. The skin repairs everything, but the bones just don't grow back. They were put into position to be used along with what stretches them out. The spring system for the spring of the year, because the spring is what helps you spring around. Because everything springs, and that's why we have tendons and muscles. So everything goes back into place, because we don't want to wear it out. Because we all know on Earth, everything wears out, and we lose our hair. I don't know why, but then the light shines better. And when the light shines on you, you feel warm. And when you feel warm, you feel accepted. When you feel accepted, you feel good that you're accepted. So there you're at peace. And man wants peace, a piece of the action, and a piece of everything. Therefore, we recall of everything, and we bring the money back into the effect of the fact. And the honey that was once sweet turns to the apple that is now sour. As in New York City, we have the apple of the Big Apple. Is it sour or is it sweet? What is man going to be? That is the big of the apple. You see, there was Snow White. She was pretty, but I think she ate that apple and fell asleep. Where the Pinocchio ate the apple and he was up. But his directive was wrong because he never got to take the apple to the place he was going, to the one who teaches him. And therefore, that must be God. Because he's our teacher of all man, because we're just the children, no matter how old we are. And we'll never get the point of it, because we're so old we act on our own. Because we got 2 flat feet. They're sticking in the wrong direction when we stand straight up. The eye can't move. It's got no feet to walk it, like the R. Because the R can go wherever it wants. Arr! Like the pirate, pirate, who goes wherever he wants and takes whatever he wants, because he pirates everything. He steals it and takes it and does what he wants. He doesn't care. He's the pirate. The peer, which means is the worst. 8. He eats you in the worst way, by stealing your money and your gold and your jewels. He's the pirate, pirate. And I had a lot of cats, and one cat died. And the only cat died was the one that didn't care about anyone else. And she ran into the middle of the road, and she got hit by a car. And I felt sorry for her, but she never liked me anyway. So why should I feel sorry for someone that doesn't like me? Because it's another human being who has a soul, and we all have a chance to know what I know. If you don't have the soul to even listen to it, then you have no soul. And that's why we go back to the black sheep. Because the black man who's been kicked around knows the difference, where the white man will learn the difference. And that's the difference between the past and the future, where the black man has already learned, where the white man will never learn, because he thinks he can boss everybody around for the buck. You know what I'm saying? For the buck. But then when the buck kicks you, you ain't got shit, because he kicked you away, and you fell down. And he kicked you in the ass, or he kicked you in the heart, or he kicked you in the head, but it doesn't matter what point. The point he used was his foot, and he kicked you away because he didn't want you. You bucked and he bucked. So a buck to one base is coming back as a buck. And the buck is the dollar, and we're all crazy for money, so it became the loony, or the toonie, because it's both of us. And that's a song, tune, a tune, for a song, the two, for the 2 people, the one for the 1 person, and that's why we're united together as one, although we're 2, and the marriage calls for 1 contract, although there are 2 involved. But that's a contract, and that's the way it works. Understand the contract is the contract of everything, because the heart you have will harden one day, and the blood won't flow. When the blood stops flowing, you don't go anywhere. When you have no octane or gas for October, and the gas is God, angel, and the 2 C's backwards, because they're mixed up, like the ass is straight on the C's, but the hole is there, and it shits out everything. So now you understand how it works. And for the doctors who want to know, because I never was a doctor, and I never studied to be a doctor, so if I do know something that I did, you ask me another question, and I'll try to design it so it comes out the way it's supposed to be. And the doctors will know those answers, so that's who I'll have to talk to. And the politicians will know those answers, and that's who I'll have to talk to, but I can't talk to a politician, because I know what he's going to tell me already before it starts. Lies, 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 and lies. Whatever he tells me, he's going to turn it around till it works his way. Because man can't have it his way, and he's the government, and man voted him in, so he's first and you're last. You're second, or second to last. But it doesn't matter, because you're not first anymore, and you don't have the last decision. So the decision is all theirs, his, but it's not yours. The you are of the yours, or the why or you are. It depends which crossroad you take. Anyways, I have a cat named Rachel. And this cat named Rachel, when you look at her spots, say God on one side. On the other side, it says dog. When she lies down, it says 50, or half. When she stands up and leans over on the other side, it says 007. The 2 O's are for the 2 men who tried here on earth. The 1 O and the 2 O's in roulette for the difference of the 2 who tried here of man. Do you understand the way it goes? Everything fits. Especially if it doesn't fit in one corner or the other, draw a plus sign which will divide all the 4 walls and put where it goes what it is, because that's where it is what it goes. You don't have to know what it is. As long as what it is where it goes, there's a place for it, then you design it so it fits. So when it fits, it'll be a connection. It'll be the one you connected, and if you're smart enough, your connection will be the best. So therefore, if you do it right on earth, your connection is your soulmate. She is the person here in the E-world. You have to find her, strap her down, tie her up, and put those enyo on her, the ring. But the ring is not going around the neck to walk the dog, because the cigarette burnt out the length of the man. So now we have a collar and a collarbone and our own mind to do what we please. And if we love her, we will be with her, because we will understand her, because we will do anything to understand our better half. Because it's the better half that knows all the better, because we can do what we want. And all our lies